as a writer of biblical fiction, I tend to think that I learn Torah a little bit differently than most other people do. Because I'm always on the lookout for things, like we see in Daf 12 of Shekalim, which like cool ancient idioms. I don't think that many people out there collect cool ancient idioms, but I do, because I'm trying to write books about the times, and I'm trying to throw in cool language that is right for that time period. So we had such an example on Daf 12, and the context isn't really all that important. It's talking about bringing offerings, that certain offerings you bring them males without blemish. Males without blemish. And that's the cattle. But you also referred to have a line that says that the offering should come from the cattle, of the cattle. And it's read to kind of expand on the first definition. So the first one was males without blemish, but also you bring them from the cattle. So someone says, well, the first one was talking about only males, and of the cattle comes to include females. And someone else says, well, how do we know that? Males without blemish contains two elements, males and without blemish. Maybe of the cattle comes to include unblemished animals as well. And so the rabbi said, no. And this is the great idiom. It's like the difference is as clear as the weaver's rod. That's the idiom. It's as clear as the weaver's rod. Why? And then he goes on and says that, well, males are able to be brought as offerings, and females are able to be brought as offerings. So it makes sense to read it as of the cattle being to include female. But unblemished doesn't correspond to blemished, which can't be brought as offerings. So since females can be brought, blemished cannot be brought, clearly the difference here is as clear as the weaver's rod. And then it must mean females and not blemished animals. But I just love that little idiom there. And so the next time you think about clear as day, okay, that's what we say these days. I guess back then, before pollution, all the days were clear. And what was really clear to them back then was the weaver's rod.